Nakakapagod na shabu, pare sa totoo lang. I was just tired of being sick and tired. The vicious cycle of resting, tira uli inom, the partying, you know, I think some parents think na it's easy. No, it's not. It's actually hard. And I said, I'll change career. And back then I didn't know what to do. You were talking about, sabi nga kanina, I'll hold on to it. And sabi ko, if I want to retain my recovery, I need to have a purpose. Kung hindi, this might be short-lived. And I guess the higher power led me to where I am today.
Most of your patients na meron sexual addiction is men or women?
Men.
Men. Like how many percent?
And you'll be surprised. Men and married.
What?
And they love their wives. They love their wives. In fact, the reason why they went to treatment is because their wives were threatening to leave them.
And ito nang bababae ba? Or because just di na mabigay ng wife yung needs?
Akala kasi nung iba, sex addiction is ng bababae. Pero hindi. It's really not about having an affair. It's about control. In fact, most sex addicts that I handled, ang sexual partners nila are not their co-equal. It's always someone
Below.
below. So that's why like it's either it's a prostitute, sorry
Oo.
waiter.
So they want to have that control.
Or they want
Yeah.
dominance.
Dominance
But
and
yun yung
control.
Power.
Power and
Okay.
dominance.
Yeah. Hindi namin minamaliit. I mean, these are...
No, yeah.
Yeah. Hindi mo patanggap sa'yo, hindi mo admit that
Okay.
you needed help.
During that time, if you will ask me if I need help, I'll outrightly tell you I don't need help. Kaya ko to. But to be very frank with you, there were times that I would cry. I remember there was a time I was using, I was now into meth, no? I was into meth na noon. And I remember it was early in the morning I was using and my tears just started to fall, no? Naiyak ako kasi gusto ko na tumigil. I really wanted to stop. My problem was I didn't know how. A drug addict will not, hindi niya mauubos yung pera nung pamilya Pag inubos niya, patay siya. Second is, it's easier to control the money pag addict Kasi unmanageability nung pag-iisip, wala Sira Sa gambling, ang nakikita namin is most panong gamblers are the breadwinners.
Oh my.
If you're my father, how can I tell you to stop gambling while it's your money? Hindi nakakaya to have an addiction. It's a disease. It's not a moral failing. You know, you're not a bad person. That's why you're an alcoholic or but it's just because you develop the disease. And there's always a chance to recover. No matter where you are in the stages of addiction. The reason I'm saying this because for those who feel na wala na silang pag-asa, please don't. No, may pag-asa tayong lahat.
Tara pag-usapan natin dito, kwento mo sa buhay. Kasamang mga folks, ilabas lahat ng tunay. Mag-relax lang tayo, sober man o tipsy. Aral makukuha mo sa Life Over Whiskey.
Hey everyone, welcome to Life Over Whiskey Podcast, where we share valuable life lessons and stories you can learn from over a glass of whiskey. My name is Brian.
And I'm Gerald.
Rekche, magandang gabi sa'yo.
Magandang gabi, sir.
Sir, andito pa rin tayo sa elegante, napakagandang studio ng Q Studio. Maraming salamat Q Studio for allowing us to use your space. And I'm excited, Derek, because our guest for tonight is somebody I feel like a lot of the viewers natin, mga ka-whiskey natin, would really resonate with. Without further ado, let me introduce. Our guest for tonight has spent over 2 decades working in a space most people avoid talking about: addiction, recovery, and second chances. With more than 27 years in the field, he is an addiction specialist, a family intervention provider, and a Department of Health accredited practitioner who has trained professionals and helped shape how addiction is understood and treated in the Philippines. But beyond the titles, his real work happens in the lives of people he helps rebuild. Individuals struggling with alcoholism, substance abuse, gambling, and other forms of addiction. And of course, the families trying to hold everything together. And as the executive director of Family Wellness Center, he continues to guide people through one of the hardest battles anyone can face, the fight to take their life back. Mga ka-whiskey, mga kalobarkada, help us welcome Reniel Cristobal. Reniel, magandang gabi sa'yo.
Good evening. Good evening. And thank you for inviting me dito sa show ninyo. And I'm actually excited to actually share a few things about my field, no, in your show tonight.
And for context of everyone, Reniel here won't be drinking because he's also a person in recovery.
Galing. Alam mo, Bryce, sobrang excited na ako sa topic natin for tonight. Kasi, a lot of Filipinos now, not only Filipinos, actually worldwide naman, there's a problem na rising right now, which is yung addiction. Okay? It could be addiction to porn, addiction to sex, addiction to gambling. Eh, lalo na dito sa Pilipinas, ngayon parang ang pinakamalaking nagiging problema natin is gambling addiction, 'di ba? So, I think this is the perfect topic na pwede nating pag-usapan na makatulong sa ating mga fellow Filipinos, 'di ba?
Our topic is, how does addiction affect your life?
Nice, nice. Galing, perfect, bray. I like it.
So let's ask muna si Reniel. Like, maybe you can share with us a little bit of your background story.
Okay. Well, my my being in this field is by no accident. Although I chose to change career. No, I was talking to Gerald. First few times we met. Actually, I was in the advertising field. I was into production also. So that was many years ago. Uh, you mentioned earlier that I'm a person in recovery. So I I myself went to treatment 1995, March of 1995. And because of my alcoholism and drug addiction. So my family, well, after 17 years, no, of this unhealthy lifestyle that turned out to become an addiction, uh, there came a point na sabi ng family ko, my parents, enough is enough. Tama na to, no? Actually, hindi ako back then kasi, people don't really know what treatment was, eh. So I think if I'm not mistaken, there were only 2 or 3 rehabs at that time, no? One of them is the government one, which nobody wants to go, no? So parang tabu ang rehab
Was it
pa nun.
because there's a stigma na, syempre, pag inamin mo na may problema sa'yo eh, di ba?
Para matatag ka as what? Well, parang ano ka ba, ma-outcast ka ba?
That was, I think, one of the struggle of my father, because he was medyo kilala siyang businessman and he belongs to, the
Prominent circle?
yeah. So parang, naalala ko yun, he narrated that to me na parang I was also struggling with, talking to friends, asking what I can do for my son. So, but I think finally that that March of 1995, they said, you know what, I'll do something. We have to do something about it. I think by that time I had numerous arrests already. Ano ako, baduy ako na addict, palagi akong nahuhuli, actually. And I'm not also a good drinker. Although I thought I was a good drinker, I was a bad drunk, So, so obvious, and finally they decided to do a family intervention.
At that time ba, do you acknowledge that you needed help? Or was it like,
Actually, that's a nice question.
hindi mo pa tanggap sa'yo, hindi mo admit that
Okay.
you needed help?
During that time, if you will ask me if I need help, I'll outrightly tell you I don't need help. Kaya ko to. But to be very frank with you, there were times that I would cry. As in, I remember there was a time I was using, I was now into meth, no? I was into meth na nun. And I remember it was early in the morning I was using, and my tears just started to fall, no. Naiiyak ako kasi gusto ko na tumigil. I really wanted to stop. My problem was I didn't know how. I say,
Because 'pag nag-cold turkey ka, it would be very, very hard for you.
well, that's one, but it's also I really don't know, eh. You know, I don't wanna go to rehab, and yet, uh, today, well, of course, today I know that that's the only way I can get, in recovery, no? So I really didn't know how. Plus, of course, the thought of withdrawing, because there was a time I was already mixing heroin and meth, and shabu, no? Unfortunately, a friend taught me how to mix it up. So, 'di ba, parang masarap yung tama, but the crashing was really bad. It was so bad that I really get depressed.
Pero how did that affect your life? Like, for example, how's your relationship with your parents or even with your coworkers or even, let's say, your partner in life?
Well, I was still married then, no, and I already had a 2-year-old daughter. So, well, the marriage was really bad. My relationship with my parents was, me and my father, we hardly talk. We Una-una wala kaming pag-usapan, eh, 'no? Wala, eh. Pangalawa siguro buwisit siya sa'kin, because, literally I wasn't doing anything right, you know what I mean? Although not intentionally, but, I just can't do anything right. So, I was just home. Although I was a bit productive because we were yeah, we had a production outfit,
Yeah.
a small production outfit. So, in a way, I can say I'm semi-productive. Every once in a while, I'll earn money, together with my ex-wife then, no? But but to be very honest, it my life was just in shambles. So relationship was really bad, and I have no relationship with my parents actually.
You mentioned kanina, tama ba pag-intindi ko, 17 years
Almost, yeah, yeah.
that you
I s-
were in that spiral?
I started experimenting at the age of 14, eh. Experimenting, no? But if I look back at it now, I think by the age of mid 18, 19, uh, full blown, my addiction was developed pretty fast. I think because I'm also genetically predisposed, my environment and reinforcement towards drug use and drinking was pretty strong. So, uh, so I won't be surprised that my addiction developed pretty fast compared to some people, no? So by the age of 19, alam ko, I cannot stop anymore.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was just 19. I just first year college. Yeah. Although my denial, because I was well, modesty aside, I was an athlete, no, in the college at where I was, no, and in fact I was a good athlete. Medyo star athlete tayo, eh. So siguro yun yung denial ko rin, eh, no, hey, I'm okay.
Yeah, you're doing okay.
Yeah, I can,
I can perform.
oh yeah, I training 5 o'clock in the morning, nandiyan ako. Nandiyan, pero bata pa ako nun, eh. So, I mean, when you're young, you feel omnipotent, 'di ba?
And invincible.
And invincible. So, wala pa akong sakit-sakit. So, and academically, yeah, that's something, I can say I wasn't really doing well. Well, how can I do well? I'm perpetually stoned.
Yeah. Pero you know what,
And
surprisingly lang, Bray, this guy's jacked. I mean, 'pag nakita mo katawan nito for his age, six-pack pare, daig pa yung mga bata na half of his age. So, 'di ba ironic lang, like everyday I see him sa gym. So, sabi ko, sipag naman ito. So, kaya yun pala, it's because of, kung what he went through, 'di ba? I'm sure may kinalaman yan, eh, 'di ba? So, kailan ba nangyari na enough is enough, ayoko na, gusto ko na mawala dito?
You're saying after 17 years of your first time you used, ganun ba?
Pardon?
17 years from the first time you parang sabi mo
Yeah,
kasi
mga 17 years, yeah.
so kailan nangyari yung intervention na yun?
It was February of 1995. I was sleeping. And
How what's your age nung time na yan?
I was 32. I was 32. Yeah, that was like prime, no? So I was 32. I was home with my ex-wife and tutulog ako noon, I remember. And all of a sudden, there were these burly guys waking me up. They're all in white. You know what that means. They're all the- bur, they're all wearing white. Pagising ko, mga nakaputi, sabi ko, oh shit, puta, ito na. Ito, ay, sorry. Uh,
It's fine, it's fine. You can
sabi ko,
curse if you want
sabi
to.
ko, puta, ito na, di ba? Ito na yata yun. Ito na yun. So anyway, they were waking me up. They were asking me to go with them. Of course, I didn't go, I didn't go just like that, no? Medyo konting struggle.
You won't go without a fight.
Yeah, I had to. In fact, when I stood up, the first thing I did was I ran towards the kitchen. Kuha ang kutsilyo eh. So kumuha ng kutsilyo. Pagbukas ko ng walang laman yung mga cabinet. Anyway, in short, it was already malinis na yung bahay. So wala na yung samurai. Wala akong makuhang pangpalo. So anyway, to cut it short, eventually I got tired of the struggling and I said, go. And
And then paano nangyari na ito yung naging negosyo mo?
so, from there straight ako Makati Medical basement.
Okay.
Nung araw, 'di ba? Joke lang namin, basement, baduy ka basement. Imagine I ended up there. Almost a month. I was there almost a month and but I have to be grateful that I also was placed there because that was very uh it was it was very life-changing for me. In the sense na dun ko na-realize, sabi ko, "Oh shit, eto na 'yun. Ito na yung iniintay ko na araw." To
So
be very honest.
from in denial to acceptance.
Acceptance. To
But how
from
long
denial to admittance and then acceptance.
from being in denial to admitting,
At yeah, pero hindi ko pa ina-accept. Pero
eventually accepted that it has to happen. Pero gaano katagal bago tayo mapunta dun sa reason why you started doing what you do right now? Gaano katagal yung recovery mo?
well, I went to treatment right after Makati Medical. I went to treatment. I think I would like to say I'm lucky because it was a very friendly program. It wasn't hindi yung mga hard knocks program, no. So, and I think ako today I want to believe God placed me where I'm supposed to be in, no. So after that I volunteered for I think mga 2 years. I volunteered. And then eventually I said, you know what? I was struggling between going back to my old career, the old industry, advertising,
Advertising, yeah.
or sabi ko, which is very toxic at that time, everybody was practically using. Pare, ultimo lighting man namin,
So parang it's like a fraternal
remember that
thing.
was 90s, early 90s to, height of meth. No? This is the height of meth. Everybody was practically using at that time in the advertising agency. So,
You didn't want to go back because you don't want to subject
I
yourself
wanted
to
to
that
go back,
environment.
pero sabi ko, if I go back, sabi ko, uh, my relapse, my relapse chances will be very high.
Very high, yes.
And I said, and at that time, my recovery was so important for me. I won't exchange it for anything. Sabi ko, eto na yun, I don't wanna lose it already. So I think I got in treatment. I was just tired of being sick and tired. You know what I mean? Nakapagod na siya pare sa totoo lang. Yung walang, the whole thing, the vicious cycle of resting, tira uli, inom, the partying, you know, I think some parents thinks na it's easy. No, it's not. It's actually hard. So anyway, and I said, I'll change career. And back then I didn't know what. I didn't know. I really didn't know what to do. You were talking about, sabi nga kanina, I'll hold on to it. And sabi ko, if I want to retain my recovery, I need to have a purpose. Sabi ko, I need to have a purpose. Kung hindi, this might be short-lived lang. And I don't know. I guess the higher power led me to where I am today,
Galing.
to a purpose, no? Where I am today. And 1999, I went to my father. I talked to him. Sabi ko, I call him tatay. Old school kami, tay. Sabi ko, I don't have plans of going back to advertising. Sabi ko, parang gusto kong mag-counseling. I want to help people. So, kasi nung araw, nung gumagamit pa ako, magaling akong mangumbinsi ng mga tao na gumawa ng kalokohan. Alam mo yun, ang galing ko dyan. Yung, okay, ganito gagawin natin. Susunugin natin tong.
Oh, yeah.
So, sabi nung, we call it sponsor, no? May sponsor back then in the 12 steps. We have a sponsor, no, in Alcoholics Anonymous. And you know what? You have a talent, in convincing people. Parang ganyan yung ano. So sabi ko, gamitin ko kaya yun. And I guess that's what I used, no?
Mm.
So I told my tatay, sabi ko, I want to change career, but I don't want to do this parang in a mediocre way, no?
Mm.
Sabi ko, I want to study. So, medyo naman, swerte naman kami. We're lucky na may resources naman kami. So, I went abroad. I went to the States, actually. That's really where, then maraming courses. I went to study addiction treatment. I did my internship in the States also. I mean, I came back and then I went back again for my professional in residence in Hazelden in Minnesota. And then when I came back, 1999, I formed Family Wellness Center Foundation.
Wow. From what I've heard, tama ba 3 lang kayong ganyan dito sa Pilipinas, ano?
At that time.
At that time.
Oh,
now
ngayon
marami.
madami na.
Madami na. Okay, but
Mas
you
naging
were
accepted na eh.
but you were the one na isa ka sa mga pioneer, you would say?
Hindi
Hindi naman.
Hindi Oh, I'll be unfair if I say I was.
Ah.
But today I know parang kami lang yata ang outpatient na private here in Metro Manila.
Renchi, eto yung kanina ko pa gusto itanong, no? With your business right now, I'm sure there are a lot of people that you're handling who has an issue with gambling addiction and even sexual addiction, ano? Can you give us, let's say, a specific scenario na ano yung mga nagiging problema nyo dito sa mga taong nagsisik ng help sa inyo? How do you cure it? And at the same time, bakit sila napupunta sa ganung situation?
Yeah. Well, I love that you brought that up, no? Kasi gambling seems to be a really problem now. In fact, may joke kami that we started seeing this trend siguro couple of months ago, no? May joke nga kami with my staff. Parang talo na yung mga drug addict kasi before sa pasyente namin mas dominated ang population namin ng mga alcohol and drugs. My God. Now dominated na ng gamblers. Online gambling, specifically online gambling. So
So
there
would you
is
say 60% of
no
your
80.
80? So how about yung gambling and mga 10% tapos sexual addiction is gaano kataas ang
Sex addiction kasi yan every once in a while lang.
So parang you would say 3% of the total
Yeah.
clientele mo?
Mga 3%
Okay.
lang yan.
Okay.
But now 80% gambling.
Okay.
Both online and the traditional gambling, yung casino.
Okay. Okay.
And there's also a new trend, loan addiction.
Loan addiction.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Actually, ang dami
that's
ko nakikita
something
sa
new.
Yes, exactly.
sa Reddit, for example, na
So
di nila alam kung anong gagawin
they
nila.
get addicted. In fact, sa America nga may Debtors Anonymous. Do you know that? Di ba, you're familiar with Alcoholics Anonymous, right? There's Narcotics Anonymous there's a Debtors years ago, sabi ko, Debtors Anonymous? Sabi ko, ganun ba? true enough, ngayon talagang may
So Reggie, teka lang correct niyo ako. Tama ba intindi ko? It's like this. So for example, I would ask Brian to loan me a money. Kunyari, for example, mangungutang ako sa kanya, di ba? Tama. So pag utang ko sa kanya, for me to pay that debt, I would borrow from you.
ganun yun
Tapos,
nangyayari.
isi-settle ko siya, then I would borrow from another person.
So
Okay.
that's where the vicious cycle of loaning, paying, loaning. At the end of the day, akala mo lang nakakabayad ka. Pero actually parami lang ng parami yung utang mo.
Yung
Kasi
mga mahilig sa utang, guys.
kasi
Be mindful
Be mindful,
to
of the
throw
money
in
you
the
borrow.
gambling there makes it really, really bad.
Very dangerous.
Yeah.
Umutang ka na, ginamble mo pa.
The thing kasi with gambling, gambling is supposed to be a recreational Kaya nga PAGCOR ito palagi ko 'to sinasabi. 'Di ba PAGCOR, Philippine Amusement and Gaming. It's supposed to be amusement
For
lang.
entertainment lang,
Yes,
ano.
really. It's really for recreational entertainment, but unfortunately, people who are predisposed to addiction, of course, ang problema diyan you wouldn't know until you're there na. Although may symptoms na nagma-manifest na sana alam mo, but ang sabi ko nga kahit naman alam mo 'yan, tutuloy mo pa rin 'yan, 'di
Yeah.
ba? I mean, I knew like my life before. I knew that, I was, sorry, I was like screwing up.
Yeah.
And yet, I didn't stop. So ganun din siya.
Parang ako, Bri, meron ako isang kwentong gusto i-share sa inyo. No? There's this one person that I know na the really well-off, super well-off family. Tapos, when they started doing casino, no, ang nangyari, naubos sila. Ibig sabihin, I mean, the houses, the cars. And then, ang ending nito, yung house pa ng parents mo, isasanla mo na rin.
Sinangla din niya.
Na hindi alam ng parents mo. So, maraming instances na ganito yung, alam mo yun, na nababalitaan ko. So, parang dun ko nga naisip na sabi ko, hindi kaya it's better to be an alcoholic rather than being a gambling addict. I mean, it's both bad,
Lesser
a lesser
evil ba
evil,
pipiliin
pero
mo?
parang parang kasi you're destroying other people's lives. Yun, ganun ko siya nakikita kapag naging addict ka na sa gambling.
Parang dinamay mo pa ibang
Oh, kasi
tao.
if you're an addict, of course, na-affect mo yung people around you. But if you're harmless, let's just say, for example, bago ka pa lang, you're just harming yourself. With gambling kasi, yung future ng anak mo dinadamay mo, yung future ng pati yung retirement ng magulang mo damay eh. And if I loan money from you guys and tinakbuhan ko kayo, di sira rin yung buhay nyo. 'Di ba? So that's how I see it. No?
I'm glad you brought that up. But I don't wanna say which is better, no? Parang wala namang better addiction, no? But, the thing with gambling kasi, aside from the emotional, damage and the mental damage, ang problema sa addiction, yung family wealth nadadamay. And when we talk about family wealth, that includes your kids, education ng kids mo, yung bahay, yun. Now, again, no, I don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that the other one's better, no, but with like drug addiction and ang primary na tatamaan diyan yung health nung addict.
User, yeah.
The pera kasi the pera,
Can be recovered.
can be, no, a drug addict will not, hindi niya mauubos yung pera nung pamilya 'Pag inubos niya, patay siya
Yeah, okay, gets. Kasi OD ka na nun.
OD ka na nun
Ah.
Second is, it's easier to control the money 'pag addict Kasi unmanageability nung pag-iisip wala sira Sa gambling, ang nakikita namin is most pa nung gamblers are the breadwinners.
Oh my.
So, how can I tell you, if you're my father, how can I tell you to stop gambling while it's your money?
Pero how do you treat them?
Yeah, is that like a statistic sa inyo napansin mo na a lot of the gamblers are actually breadwinners?
Not all, not all.
Pero
But some
parang
are
A lot.
breadwinners.
pero
Okay,
parang
some.
feeling ko it makes sense, Bri.
So why? Why are gamblers, some of them, are breadwinners? Gusto nila mag-provide. Is it because gusto nila ng tumaya, to have a better life for them and their
I think
family?
it's partly lang dyan, if may I ano lang say my piece as someone na from the outside, hindi katulad niya, siya kasi from the inside, di ba? Ako, feeling ko it's the pressure na gusto mong makakawala doon sa pressure. Because let's face it, as a provider, nabu-burnout ka rin naman. You're also human. So parang, oh, what's my escape? Ay, try nga natin mag-drugs. Tingnan natin if this is something that will ease the pain. If sugal naman, naku, try ko nga baka sakaling swertehin mabigyan ko na ng pan-tuition yung bata tapos yung pan-tuition ko, I'll use it for my personal happiness. So dun pumapasok yung imbes na selfless ka, nagiging selfish.
And now you're in that vicious cycle.
Yes.
This gambling thing started during the pandemic. That's what we noticed. No? It was during the lockdown, the pandemic, na ang online gambling became really, really
Prevalent,
prevalent.
yeah.
And my opinion lang here is, I actually agree with you. It's the quick money. You have to remember during the pandemic, lahat kapos sa pera. It's because lockdown, walang, and the quick money became very, very attractive.
Band-aid solution.
Nanalo ka, pero hinok ka lang. And then,
Now, there are people who are predisposed, really,
yun nga.
to gambling. There are people like me, although, you can say I have an addiction, no? But I don't like gambling. Hindi ko ano yan. Hindi ako attractive dyan.
So how can you say if somebody is predisposed in a specific addiction? Is it the environment that
Well, it's four-pronged, no? The environment, genetics. So usually kaya we interview them. Do you have a family member, a parent, a lolo, a lola, who had a gambling problem before? Or addiction? Kasi minsan nagsiskip yan ng generation.
ganun?
So,
So genetics is the second one.
genetics, environment, yung early exposure. So are you someone who grew up na experiencing your parents going to the casino? Kasi 'di ba? I mean, growing up, parang ano yan conditioning, nako-condition yung brain mo na it's okay.
It's normal.
It's normal. Yeah, lakas yan, malakas sa factor yan. And yeah. And of course, yung high, no? Yung reward,
Adrenaline.
yung reward system. We call it the dopamine reward system. Some people think na may effect sa brain yan. In fact, yung effect sa brain ng gambling at ng drug use is almost the same. Yung dopamine. If you're not familiar with dopamine, it's the neurotransmitter or the chemical in the brain that gives us that feeling of pleasure.
Same as what we get from chocolates.
Exactly. Diba? Pagka, what's your favorite chocolate?
Crunch.
Crunch. Diba? Pagka yung crunch, yung pagka bibili mo na, yung that feeling, oh my God, ito na.
Masarap.
That's the one.
Okay.
Yun yung dopamine. Yung nagbibigay sa'yo that feeling of
Excitement.
yung
and,
kukunin mo na, kakainin mo na, yun yung dopamine rush.
Okay. Now it's cleared, no? Now medyo nakikita na namin ni Brian ng ating mga viewers kung bakit ba talaga napupunta dun sa stage na yun. Pwede pa lang you saw it from your parents or by the way it's an escape. So we get
You
that.
subjected
Okay.
yourself in an environment.
Ito ang gusto kong malaman. Ito kasi medyo hindi to pinag-uusapan and I want to know, lalo na dun sa mga pasyente nyo, is that bakit nagkakaroon ng isang tao na may sexual addiction? Lalo na kung babae. Yan ang gusto kong malaman. Ano ang experience mo? Maybe you can share to our viewers.
Well, again, it's also partly genetic, environment. With sex addiction, parang ano din siya, no? Individuals who grew up with traumatic childhood experiences.
Molested.
Among doon sa mga inawaka kong cases na hypersexuality, or sex addiction. But not all, no? But I think more than half are actually experience uh, sexual molestation or sexual abuse when they were kids. So, parang yun yung coping nila. The difference between sex addiction kasi, yun ang nagiging, meron silang distorted view of intimacy. Especially when you experience rape or, when you were a kid. No? So, parang I remember I had a patient noon, he was molested by his lolo. And it wasn't just a one-time event, no? It was a
Series of
series.
events.
Usually series. And over the mga 2 years. So growing up, napansin nga niya na medyo hypersexual din siya. So parang ang na-realize niya ron parang yung yung ano niya, yun yung parang yung sense of love niya is
Attached to.
Attached to sa sex, no? Okay, but most of your patients na meron sexual addiction is men or women?
men.
Men. Like how many
And
percent?
you'll be surprised. Men and married.
What?
And married.
Is this sexual addiction or
And
porn
they love
addiction?
they love their wives. They love their wives. In fact, the reason why they went to treatment is because their wives were threatening to leave them.
Just because, ano ito, nang bababae ba? Or because just hindi na
Ayan,
mabigay
yeah.
ng wife?
I like that. I like
hindi na mabigay ng wife yung needs.
I like that you mentioned that. Akala kasi nung iba, sex addiction is ng bababae. Actually, hindi. It's really not about having an affair. It's about control. In fact, most sex addicts that I handled, ang sexual partners nila are not their co-equal. It's always someone
Below.
below.
Oh.
So that's why
Okay.
it's either it's a prostitute, sorry
Oh.
waiter.
Oh, gets.
So they want to have that
Or
control.
they want
Yeah.
dominance.
Dominance
But
and
yun na rin
control.
yun, power
Okay,
and
okay.
dominance. Yun
Okay.
yun yung driving force ng sex addiction.
Okay. Okay.
That's why they end up always with a sexual partner na lower.
How they see
Okay.
other people na mas mababa sa kanila, yun yung pinipili
Parang
nila.
ganon eh. Parang ganon.
In their own way.
Not all but
Yeah.
yun
Hindi namin
yung-
minamaliit. I mean, these
No,
are...
yeah.
Yeah.
Hindi, pero ang tanong ko dyan is, in any kinds of addiction, how do we treat it? Like sa program mo, just give one
Talk therapy.
talk therapy. Okay.
Talk therapy, we process the
Or do they drink medicine, no?
well, okay. For some, they were referred to us through a psychiatrist. So siguro nag-depression na sila or nagkasakit. So they went to see a doctor and the doctor diagnosed them na aside from their depression or whatever, mukhang meron tong compulsive behavior, and that's the time they get referred to us. Like yung gambling, most of the gamblers that we have now came from a psychiatrist. They're depressed. They want to commit suicide na. Why? Hindi nila alam, like yung 24-year-old na patient, hindi na alam, 24-year-old, di ba? Middle lower sila. Paano niya mababayaran yung 3 million? 24 years old ka. So magde-depression ka talaga. Di ba? Magde-depression ka talaga. So so yung route nila is a psychiatrist, then they refer to us. So they're under medication,
Okay.
most of them.
Actually, medyo mabigat yung topic talaga natin tonight.
Yeah.
Pero
Yung sex addiction,
it-
medyo very tricky yan kasi I call it it's very dark. It's something that you don't, hindi katulad ng alcoholic. Alam mo pag lasing eh. Di ba? Di ba, they're intoxicated, they're walking. The thing with gambling and sex is, especially sex, you don't know what's happening. And most of them are the ito, isa pang misconception, parang yung mga mukhang manyak, di ba? Yung, believe me, they're the opposite.
Yeah.
They're like the boy next door.
The where in fact the
they're
boy
like the
next door
guys in ano mo yun? They're like the guys
in disguise.
in suit and
Yeah,
tie.
yeah, yeah.
They're not the street guys that we see in the dirt. No,
Yeah, yeah.
they're not.
Pero alam mo, Bri, one thing that I appreciate about this episode is that we're raising awareness.
Yeah, we're speaking about something that might make people feel uncomfortable, but it's happening. Just like what we said. First step is really seeing na, are you in denial? Are we admitting that this is actually happening? So that we can move forward to a space where we can acknowledge and see ano yung pwede natin gawin. And, this episode, it might be controversial, it might be a little uncomfortable, but it's timely and necessary.
And our purpose is to, to raise awareness and to help our fellow Filipinos to recover from what they're experiencing in life, whether it's gambling or sexual addiction.
Because it's never too late.
Yes.
It's never too late.
Because also somebody had the strength and courage to make you also realize na enough is enough. There's somebody who wanted you to change your life, and now you're helping other people change. Siguro I would want to lead the question to, how long have you been doing this already?
Almost 27, more than 27 years.
27 years, right?
Yeah, 27 years.
In a span of 27 years, in your own way, how does it feel like that what the person he once was, you're now helping?
Well, actually, I'll be very frank. I'm very proud of myself. I remember all those years I thought I'll never recover. But kaya nga sabi ko kanina, I really put my recovery for today. I make my recovery my priority. Or yeah, because I don't want to lose it anymore. My purpose now is to help people, and so I'm very grateful that you guys invited me to really talk about this. I think at some point our society is still in denial sometimes. Uh, but I think we're getting there. We're better off. Yeah, we're a lot better off compared to 30 years ago or 20 years ago. So yeah, but ako naman, what I'm just doing is I'm helping people help themselves. We're not the ones solving their problems. We're actually helping them see their problems and to come up with how they can solve their problem.
But it has to be their choice.
Well, at the end of the day, I like that you said that. I always say that at the end of the day, I can teach you what I can teach you everything that you need to know. I can give you I can teach you all the skills you need to know. But if you're not gonna use it, it's not gonna work. So at the day, ikaw talaga yung yeah.
So, Renshi, before we wrap up the show,
Yes.
I just want to ask, what is your advice for our fellow Filipino people and sa ating mga ka-whiskey and mga kalubarkada?
Might be struggling right
Oo,
now.
ano mapapayo mo sa kanila?
Well, I think simple lang. Well, hindi naman simple, no? But, yung addiction kasi it's a secret everybody knows. You just think it's a secret. But actually everybody knows, di ba? Having said that, hindi nakakaya to have an addiction. Today it's considered a brain disease, and I think it's important for me to be able to say this. I mean, a lot of psychiatrists knows this. It's a brain disease. It's a disease. It's not a moral failing. You're not a bad person. That's why you're an alcoholic or you're but you might be a broken person, but it's just because you develop the disease, and there's always a chance to recover, no matter where you are in the stages of addiction. Like me, I can consider myself as in the severe stage, no? In the chronic stage, no? Kumbaga, chronic meaning ulit-ulit. And yet, I myself was amazed, I did recover. The reason I'm saying this because for those who feel na wala na silang pag-asa, please don't. No, may pag-asa tayong lahat. You just need to love it. You just need to like being in recovery. You need to like it. You need to want it, actually. You need to want it.
And I guess with that, saan ka ba nila makikita? Where can they reach out to you?
Okay. Well, actually, malapit din kami dito. We're in, the name of our clinic is Family Wellness Center. We're located here lang in, it's Unit 704, Price Center Building. It's actually along Chino Roses Corner, Bagtican Street. So it's just there, the next block. So we're in the 7th floor, and come and visit us. Your dropping by will be treated with with confidentiality. It's better sometimes to be able to talk to you in person, so we can actually have an initial assessment. I'm the type, I'm not gonna give you a program kaagad, no. I would really like to interview first to assess, so we know kung ano yung 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 tamang program for you. Although we're an outpatient, we're an intensive outpatient program, so no need to leave your house, no need to leave your work. We have clients who come in for a session and then goes back to work, or goes back to the school, or after school, or after work. Depende, no? So it's a very friendly program. Yeah. And
Grabe. I'm sure there's a lot more to talk about. Maraming salamat for
ay,
being part
maraming
of this
salamat.
episode.
Maraming salamat
Frenchie,
to.
maraming salamat,
Thank you
brother.
for giving
Yeah.
me the chance to talk about this. Yeah.
Sabi nga nila, maka-whisky pag na-whisky ka.
Mas open
Pero
ka.
ngayon may caveat tayo direct. Drink responsibly.
Responsibly.
Yeah. Drink
Always.
Always
Stay
stay
pogs.
pogs. Maraming
Cheers.
salamat. Cheers. Kami naman.
Umunanda
Cheers
lang.
lang.
Podcast na naman with Gerald at Brian. Aral lang pulutan sa inuman at kwentuhan. Pinagsamang veterano, parehong talentado. Ihanda ang may katbaso sa lames at intablado.